Needs no introduction. Mr. Vijay Kedia joins in right now on the show. Vijay, thank you so much for being with us on Alpha Moguls.
Thank you very much for inviting me here, Neeraj.
It's a pleasure having you. We've spoken about your history. I've seen some of the interviews that you've done with us in the past as well, on different forums, on different platforms. You started off with very humble beginnings, maybe a 1 lakh rupees in 1990 or 1991. And since then, your wealth has compounded at an astronomical rate. I can't even begin to imagine, could it be 40%, 50%, 60%, 70%, or maybe even more? Some of your ideas, some of your stocks have worked beautifully. I mean, I know of a couple of names like Aegis or some of the others which have compounded or which have grown 100 times since the time you bought them. It clearly shows that just like politics, investing is the art of the possible. And you've clearly believed in that.
Yes, of course I do believe. I think it's the art of luck also. It's a law of attraction also, as you are saying, that if you think that you want to achieve. I remember one dialogue of Shah Rukh Khan movies, कि आप किसी चीज़ को भी दिल से चाहो तो पूरी कायनात आपको उसको पाने में मदद करती है. So this is what actually I truly believe, that if you really love something or if you are passionate about something, certainly universe certainly helps you to achieve that. So this is what my love towards investing is. And as I said that, I have said that in various platforms also, that certainly investing is into my love, sweat and tears and joy and laugh and everything. So maybe that might have played that trick.
Yeah, but a lot of people, Vijay, who will watch this interaction, will believe that, and they do. I mean, they have the passion for equities, they have the love for the equity markets. But surely, beyond love, there is a process, there is a method to the madness, which leads to some people creating the kind of wealth that Vijay Kedia has created, and some people not being able to create that kind of wealth.
No, first of all, let me tell you, I have not done something great. I'm still far behind than the people who started with me in investing into a stock market. So as I look at myself and I think that I'm a work in progress. So this is the first thing. And how did it happen? If this is what you actually wanted to know, you are asking me that how did it happen? So I would tell you that you learn from your mistakes. Until unless I have said this thing, said this thing in the past, that if you have not failed in your life, you have actually not passed anything. You know, so this is what failure actually teaches us a lot of things. So I have also failed initially in my career. I have failed a lot of times, maybe hundreds of times, 500 times. I don't remember actually. So if you learn from your mistakes, then it's a lesson to you, right? So, but one thing is very important in investing, which I have learned over the years, is this. As this is a common quote of mine, that knowledge, courage, and patience. This actually plays the trick, you know. But the most important thing is this. Let's talk about knowledge. Sometimes you can borrow the knowledge also. Like whatever Warren Buffett is doing, for example, you get to know maybe after a month, or maybe next day, or after a year. But that does not mean that you can also make the same amount of money, right? So knowledge can be borrowed to some extent. And second thing is patience. Patience also, maybe suppose if I am watching Warren Buffett, that how did he make his money? I can also sit, buy the stock and sit tight. That can be, to some extent, can also be copied. But so far courage is concerned, that is one thing which will come from your own senses. It comes from your own body, from your character, it's a part of your personality. Because, so that is very important. So whatever little bit success I got into this market, that is maybe because of the courage, because the kind of quantity I bought, you know, so that actually played an important role in my journey so far.
So allocation becomes very important.
Yes, very important.
And by courage, would you also mean riding out the tough times or routing out the times where are not necessarily tough, but people tend to invest and want reactions to their investments with a certain bit of urgency. मैंने आज stock खरीदा, it should move up in the next 1 month, next 3 months, next 6 months. People tend to get disheartened if it doesn't move for a year. Do you believe that by courage you also mean that at times you got to ride a long lull in portfolios?
Of course, you have to take everything in your stride. If you ask me, forget about 1 month. I usually buy a stock which I know that is not going to perform maybe for next 6 months. Because that is the time actually I am taking to accumulate stock from the market. And maybe the company has a turnaround, but it will take at least 6 months or maybe 9 months or sometime maybe 1 year to reflect into the numbers. So, but people want result in one month or 2 months or 6 months. So that is not the right approach to invest for long term. And only one mantra in stock market is to make money in market is to sit for long term only. you cannot make money unless you have patience to hold for your stock for 10 years or 15 years or 20 years. You certainly cannot make money in stock market. This is what I have experienced.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. One immediate topic before we move to how you generate alpha for your portfolio, for your own portfolio. And one thing that I heard you speak about very, very recently is that people in the current environment should be betting on cleaner managements. Now, my question to you, Vijay, is this, that large, mid, small, almost everything looks expensive in the current market scenario, or could be argued that it is reasonably expensive. And what is not expensive are companies which either are bad or are good companies but have managements who do not get the premium, but they are looking to turn around, because this I know for a fact that there are enough managements out there who have now realized that instead of siphoning off the money via the private account, it's better to let the market cap grow, because their own wealth to the tune of their shareholding in the company grows, and that is much more meatier. Do you believe that that is an area that people should completely avoid when you say cleaner managements, or are you happy betting on managements which were not clean until now but are now starting to become clean?
I will tell you, there is difference between what you are saying and what I am doing is this. Maybe I'm not a fund manager, okay, and I'm not managing others' money, and I'm managing my money only, and that's, of course, that is limited. So once I am invested in my whatever stocks I have selected, after that I have to do nothing. If I'm a fund manager and there is a constant flow of fund in my money in my fund, then I have to look for the stories every now and then. So to me, actually, there is nothing to do. Just to learn, and just to read, and just to get information, just to keep a track on my investments. So for me, 5 or 6 or 7 or 10 stories are enough.
That's the size of your portfolio? 10 companies, 12 companies?
Core portfolio is not below 10 shares. My core portfolio, majority of my portfolio, if you that would be not more than 10 shares. So for me to get a cleaner management and a management with a good track record, so I have to find only 10 shares. So I'm happy with that. If I have to invest in 100 shares and I have to churn my portfolio every now and then, just to, because I do not have any pressure also that I have to maintain my NAV, that I am not accountable, responsible to anybody. So I think that is the difference between people like me and the fund managers.
Yeah, true. Okay, so let's talk about people like you. And how do you generate alpha? We are an alpha. We call you an alpha mogul because you're obviously doing something whereby you are beating the market handsomely by the money that you invest. That's how you grew your money. You didn't have a large portfolio which has become larger. You had nothing and you've become larger. So you obviously generated alpha for your portfolio. How have you done that? Is it by obeying that principle of smile that you keep on talking about regularly?
Yes, actually the smile is the principle behind this. Maybe my smile also, you know. Let me tell you, like even as per philosophy also, if what you are doing and if it is not giving you a pleasure, if it doesn't give you a smile, then you are doing something wrong. Okay. So now coming to the smile, so whatever little bit money I could actually create from this market. So after that, when I evaluated it, how did it happen that only not one stock, not only Aegis Logistics, even Atul Auto, or for that matter, Sera Sanitaryware, they went up 100 times in no times, maybe in 10 years. So how did it happen?
Sure.
So I just looked back and then I realized that smile was the concept behind that. And maybe I was lucky that I stuck to that principle. Okay. So this is what whatever alpha or beta, whatever you are saying, that was created because of the smile. So you want me to tell the concept of the smile?
Let's break it down. Okay. So smile is, I think S stands for small, or SM small.
Yeah. Okay, so now S stands for small. So small in size. When I say small in size, that does not mean a small cap. Okay, in the size, small in size, if a company is suppose having a market potential of market size of that product is say 2,000 crore. And if that company size is say 100 crore or 200 crore, I mean 300 crore, that can also be called a small in size because it is having just 5% or 10% of the market share of that particular product. So that is small in size. So what I feel that it is when a small size company aspires to become a medium size company, So that's a transformation phase. So that is the phase where this company can give you a multiple return to investors, a small investor like us. I'm not talking about the fund managers and all. So any private investors with a small capital. So this is what I realized. So that because a large size shares, maybe few shares can give you return. For example, like Maruti has given you handsome return in last 3 years, maybe 5 times, 6 times or 7 times. But there would be hardly any 4 or 5 shares which are going to give you that kind of return. And whenever you are going to buy those shares, it's an expensive buy. So maybe a small investor would resist to buy an expensive shares. So this is what I mean by small size company at a reasonable, because that time they are available at a reasonable valuation also. So chances are that you can multiply your money many times, not in percentage terms, maybe 10 times, 20 times or 50 times, or why not 100 times. So that is why I prefer to invest in a company which is smaller in size.
Okay. And smaller in size means smaller in that industry, not necessarily small cap.
No, not a small cap, not necessarily.
It might be a mid-cap company, but very small in its industry.
Yes.
And therefore has a lot of potential to gain market share and become larger.
Yes.
Am I
correct? Absolutely correct.
Understanding it correct?
Yes, it could be even a 2,000 crore sales company. But even then it is very smaller in size because the market size is 50,000 crore or 30,000 crore.
Got it.
This is what.
Okay, I just have one small follow-up to that. Whenever we read investment books or speak to general global managers or otherwise, everybody lays emphasis on the return ratios, the importance of cash flows, all of which are very valid points. But if your starting point is to buy a small company, whereby it is difficult that the ROC, the ROE, the cash flows will all be measuring up to what is an ideal number, how do you then distill which company to reject and which company to keep? Because you're starting off on a slate wherein all of these ratios will not look attractive.
Actually, I do not give much importance to this ROC and ROC and all, ROE and all.
Across your investments?
Yeah.
You've never bought a stock based on these?
Yeah, based on these, I never bought any stock. It should be reasonable. You cannot get a small company, you cannot get a ROC or ROE of 20 or 25. Then stock would also be expensive. It has to be below 5, okay, or whatever parameters you are saying, it shouldn't match them. Then price will be dearer, it will be expensive. So I usually do not see all these things. I see a couple of things only. One thing is which will come into that smile concept, which will cover in the smile concept. So I just only see that if the management is okay, all right, and they have a clean track record, and they have fire in the belly, and there is a potential, the company can grow its turnover year on year for next 10-15 years, then I can sit in this company for 20-30 years.
Wow.
So my approach is very simple. It's very simple approach. And as I always say, that investing is also very simple. It's very actually, but it's not easy because we sometimes try to make things complex. I will give you one example. Sure. This example I had given long back on some channel. I would like to repeat that,
sure,
if you allow me.
Of course.
You remember Dettol is there and Savlon is there. Okay, both are doing the same thing. Okay, they are curing your wound. Okay, I read a long time back that market share of Dettol is somewhere around 80% plus, and Savlon is maybe 15% plus. Dettol is manufactured by Reckitt and Beckinsale, and Savlon made by Johnson & Johnson's. Both are world-class conglomerate. So why the market share of Dettol could be more? So I realized because when you apply Dettol, it burns. It gives you odd odor, like bad smell it gives. So you feel, okay, my God, I'm getting cured. But Savlon doesn't burn or doesn't give you any bad smell also. So maybe people thinking that is not curing me. So this is what is happening in our investing also. If I give you a lot of complex data, ye ho gaya, wo ho gaya, 50 data I will put in front of you, or ye wo, then you go mad. Small investors do not have that kind of capacity to understand those data. Okay, it is better than you invest through mutual fund. Okay, and don't bang your head in the market. So my approach, as per my education also, my approach is very simple.
Even now?
Even now also, yes, obviously. You see, once when you come into the market, that time you can say a small investor or a new investor, he looks for EPS. He's very much fascinated about EPS. So what is the EPS and what is the P ratio and all. And when you grow with time, then you look for the top line. You forget about the EPS. EPS grows, EPS comes down. What is the top line of this company? That is more fascinating ratio, you can call it. And after that, actually, you are looking for the concept. Okay, what is the concept in the product? Is it innovative or not? It has a moat or not? It is competitive or not? Then, or this concept will work or not? So this is what you begin your
natural progression,
right? So nowadays, actually, what I am thinking, as you said, even now, what I am thinking, that can I be a part of this company for 30 years or not? This is what actually nowadays I am asking myself. Would I be able to remain with this product, with this company, till I live? This is what I'm educating. I'm trying to come to that terms where I have to think, forget about this ROC, ROE, or whatever, all these things. Would the product survive for 20 years? Not because of the era of this disruption. Would the product survive for 50 years or 20 years or 15 years or not? If it would survive, it would keep on taking the market share, then I'm with the company.
Okay. So, small in size, medium in aspiration.
Yeah, medium in experience.
Yeah. And large in aspiration. So, the reason why you would think that you will survive with the company for 20, 30 years is if the company itself is large in aspiration, so that it will keep on growing for that period of 15, 20, 25 years. Is that understanding correct?
Yeah, it should. Second thing, it should be medium in experience. I will tell you, because what happens, like, let us divide experience in three parts. One is the experience of 5-7 years. Another experience, which is, I see medium in experience, could be 15 years, 20 years. And large means 30, 40, 50, 100, 2 generations, 3 generations, or whatever it is. I usually do not invest in any company which has a small experience of 5 years or 7 years or 10 years. Whatever I have done in the past, I have not invested in any such companies where they have small experience. Because my idea is this, until unless the management or the company has not seen 2-3 ups and down cycle, they are not actually, you can say, foolproof.
That's what we call about investors as well. Unless investors have seen 2-3 down cycles,
yeah, exactly.
It will be difficult to...
Yes. If you have not seen 2-3 bull market, if you have not seen 2008, that means you are late actually. You have to learn a lot of things. If you have not passed through that trauma, that means you are still immature.
Okay. Sorry, but I made you digress. You were talking about.
So I usually prefer a company which has an experience of 15-20 years, because during that time they have seen 2-3 ups and downs. They have gone through the failure, and this is what we learn the most when we fail into something. So this is important. And third is large in aspiration. This is very important. Aspiration is very important, because usually what happens when company transforms or migrates from small cap to small size to mid size, and mid size to long size, somewhere down the lane, when in the journey from small size to medium size, maybe after reaching medium size or before that, they might lose their aspiration.
That is where the new acronym comes in. This is the first time that you're using it.
Yeah.
Change.
Right? Yeah.
Can you explain that, because it's a part of this
journey,
right?
Yes. So why do they lose aspiration? Why this aspiration is important? Because they lose their aspiration because of the change. The acronym is change, and change. It is funny. So, but it's truth. It's So C stands for chamchas. Well, what happens? I've seen in many companies, when the company becomes from 200-300 crore to 1,000 crore, or from zero market share, or from 1% market share to say 5-10% market shares, they're surrounded, the manager or the whatever you call it, surrounded by the chamchas. Oh my God, you did wonder. तुम क्या था, तुम क्या हो गया, तुमने क्या तीर मार लिया. So पहले management think, no, I have done nothing, yaar, by grace of God it happened, everything. By and by he might feel that he's really Jeff Bezos, he has really created something amazing, something he has created, whether he must be selling his product on Amazon platform, but he will start feeling like that he has done something really wonder. So that is a very dangerous thing when you are surrounded by all these C chamchas and all. And jokes apart, but I think it plays a significant role in your life, that whom are you surrounded with. And so there they lose their aspiration. Oh my God, I become, as I said, Jeff Bezos and all. So this is what C stands for. And H stands for actually health. Because by the time you come to this stage, maybe you are 50 plus, 55, 60 years old. By the time maybe your health is not actually supporting you to your energy level is also, which is very important in any manager, and that energy level also actually comes down. So maybe you are having some blood pressure, you are having diabetes because you had been struggling a lot and you did not get time to keep yourself fit. So that health also plays a significant role. Then maybe your wife or your brother or your sons, they will tell you, "Ore papa, chacha, bahut ho gaya. You are now sick. You are not keeping, well. So take it slow. Thoda sa aage chalo, choda chalo, aage chalo." So that's a very important aspiration one. So one need to keep himself fit to come to that. Okay, and the third stands for H stands for health.
Health.
So H and A. Now is NG, that stands for next generation. Because if you are, suppose your energy level is also down and your health is also not permitting you, and you are actually around 55, 60, 65, whatever you is, you need to have next generation. That is also very important, because sometimes what happens, suppose if I have struggled a lot in my life, maybe my upbringing of my children will not be same as I had. I would like to give them, I would pamper them, I would like to give them a luxurious lifestyle. So they might not have that kind of aspiration, that kind of fire in the belly that, okay, my father took this company from 1 to 10, I will take it from 10 to 15 or 50, like Mukesh Ambani, for example.
I was about to say that.
So, yeah. So that is very important. So that next generation and capable generation, not necessarily if you're having a son, but it is useless, then what is the point in having a son or daughter?
Sure.
If they are not into this field and they do not have any interest in taking the company to the next level. So that is important. Last, E stands for ego. Although you do not have son, or your son is not capable, or your daughter is not into your business also, but you have ego. You cannot let that control go out of your hand. You do not trust anybody. You do not trust your uncle. You do not trust your cousin. You do not trust your niece or nephew or whoever is there in your family business. Nor you trust your any managers. And you have this ego that, my God, today I am CMD. If I give up this tag of mine, CMD, tomorrow who is going to ask me?
Sure.
So all these things play a very significant role from the transfer, migration of a company from small to mid-size and mid-size to large size.
Every company is different, and it's difficult to predict which company's business will go where over 10 years.
Yes. Actually, I do not have any education to understand that. I have invested in KPIT system that I invested 1 year back. At a very low price. Now price is much higher than this. I'm not recommending this stock. So, but I am also looking for the such opportunity where I can really buy some shares into this new age technology. But right now, I do not have anything in my mind.
Great.
Yeah.
Vijay Kedia, this was enlightening. Thank you so much for taking the time out.